to my channel. I'm super excited about this video for today. By the title of this video, it's going to be a little story time, but it's also going to be the start of my Let's Talk series. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you're new to my channel, or if you missed my 2022 New Year's goals video, go check it out. It will be linked in my description box. It'll be like a little series where I talk about just a variety of different topics, be from inspirational topics about me, or you know, just different things that I just want to talk about. If you're watching this video, make sure that you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, stop what you're doing and subscribe. You don't want to miss out on what I'm doing over here. And if y'all ready for this little story time, go ahead, get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Go get you some popcorn, whatever you need to get. So with this video, y'all, I'm going to talk about my experience about becoming a young mother at a young age. You know, I do have a son. He is 12 years old. He will be 13 years old this year. He's in the 7th grade, getting ready to go to the 8th grade. Y'all, I'm about to have a whole freshman out here sooner than later. Like, I don't even know how to wrap my head around that. Basically, the story starts my junior year of high school. It's like 2008, and you know, I'm about to turn 18. Of course, you know, during this time I had met my son's dad. My son's dad was older than me. He was like 24 years old, but we didn't officially date until I was like 18. 17, of course, at the time when we met. But you know, I guess you could say this was like my first real high school relationship, even though he wasn't in high school. Like, he was already in the real world. I'm in high school, trying to finish, did finish high school and preparing for college. You know, I had all these plans of going to nursing school, I'll be attending IUPUI, and you know, all that other type of stuff. We didn't have plans, had no plans, you know, having kids or anything like that. And honestly, like in high school, I really didn't date like that. Maybe like one person in high school, which didn't last long. Of course, you know, at this time I'm still, you know, living in my parents' house. This was probably like November or December of 2008. It was around the holidays that we were traveling, and I was going to meet his family for the first time. On our way there, I was super nauseous. And you know, at the time, y'all, like, I knew a little bit about pregnancy and symptoms. That wasn't the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, maybe I'm pregnant. Yeah, we're on the road, and it's like late at night. I think it was probably like maybe Christmas Eve or like the day before Christmas Eve, something like that. Where it was super cold. And I just remember that day, actually. I remember the day before we left, I was getting my hair done and all that. I think my sister was doing my hair, you know, because it's the first time I'm going to meet his family. I really don't remember eating much. So, you know, like I said, we on the road. We traveling, going, you know, to where we going, and I'm like super nauseous. I mean, sick, y'all. I mean, like dead dog sick. Know what was going on. I just figured maybe I needed to eat. Everything was basically like closed. So, you know, we had to stop at the gas station, and I'm eating like junk food. Eventually we get to where we're going, and you know, we make it to his family member's house. Like, that's when it really hit me. Like, I walked into the house, and it was just like I could have literally passed out. It was bad. Super fatigued at this point, to where I was like, okay, I need to lay down. I don't know what's going on. Family, somebody had cooked something, and so I ate a little bit of that, and I'm still in my mind thinking, you know, I just need to eat, or you know, like orange juice, you know, trying to, you know, get myself together. But this would not budge. And so then I think maybe later that night or the next day, you know, I'm still nauseous, you know, not to the point where I'm throwing up, but I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but I am super sick. You know, I think a family member said something to him about, you know, hey, maybe she needs to go take a pregnancy test or whatever. I think that I was in denial about it, you know, like I don't even remember what my thoughts were, you know, when they said that. Got the pregnancy test. I think we got like 3 of them. 3 came in a box. The pregnancy test, took it, and sure enough, all 3 were positive. We're just kind of thinking in that moment, you know, when we looked at the test, said that I was happy, sad, or mad. I really don't know what my emotions were in that moment when I think back on it, because everything was such a blur. Okay, you know, I just kind of accepted it, because I'm like, it's here, it ain't going nowhere. You know, I don't believe in abortions or anything like that. I did not immediately contact my parents. His family knew before my family knew, because we was at their house anyway for the holidays. As far as his response, I mean, you know, I think it was, I don't know what his response was. He wasn't mad, sad. He had a smile on his face, and it was what it was. First thing that I did, you know, while I was still out of town was, you know, went ahead, called the doctor, made an appointment, ultrasound to like officially confirm it. Maybe we took 3, which, you know, I mean, that was enough, but I just wanted to be for sure. Just everything after that, in that moment, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the conversation was. Like I said, nobody was mad, sad. Nobody was like jumping for joy, like popping confetti. Just, this is the reality situation. You know, you're expecting, the baby's come, there's a baby coming, and that's that. Well, you know, it's January now, it's 2009. Had my doctor's appointment set up. I went into my doctor's appointment. They did another pregnancy test. I think they did 2 pregnancy tests. Both of them came back positive. Then I did an ultrasound, and sure enough, there was a little baby booming. So 6 weeks pregnant. I say that I was happy, but not to the point where I'm like, jumping up for joy and all things like that, because I know at the end of the day, like, I got my whole family to face. After that appointment that I had, I called my son's dad, let him know, like, hey, this is legit, send a picture of the ultrasound and all the paperwork, let him know that I was 6 weeks pregnant. I'm trying to figure out, okay, like, how we gonna communicate this? Like, his family already knew. As far as their response, it was just one of them things. It was like a reality, like, congratulations, a baby's coming. I was more concerned about my mom and my stepdad. Just told him, I'm like, look, don't say nothing, just leave this to me, whatever. Next part of this story, which is my parents' response, my family's response. And I'm gonna be telling on myself a little bit in this video. So I had the ultrasound picture, went into my room, right, closed my door, and there was like this little closet in my room. I put my ultrasound picture in this purse and I like threw it like in the back of this closet. Nobody ever went in this closet, for one. And it was all types of stuff in this closet. So I'm like, ain't nobody gonna find out about nothing. I didn't bring home no doctor's papers. I didn't bring home nothing other than that ultrasound picture. So, days are going by, y'all. Days are going by. I'm getting up, I'm going to school, and just every day, like, I was just anxious and had anxiety. I'm like, how am I supposed to tell my mom? There were days where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go tell her, and then I would like get afraid. One day I'm laying in my room, it's a school day, laying in my room, her knock on my door. I don't think she knocked, I think she just came in. My mom, she just came in. I'm laying in my bed, she opens the door and she was like, Whitney, are you pregnant? Immediately I'm like, yes. And she said, how far along? I said 6 weeks. She was up getting ready for work, and then she just kind of shut the door. And I just kind of laid there like, what happened? Because it happened too quick. First of all, I was trying to figure out, how did she find out? I want to know something. And I'm going to resolve this time. I'm going to resolve this. But still to this day, I got a clue. Still to this day, I don't know how my mom found out I was pregnant. He didn't say nothing. There was no documentation. I'm telling y'all, this closet that I put that ultrasound picture in, there was no way. There was no way. I'm gonna ask her after this video. When I'm done with this video, I'm gonna text her or I'm gonna call her and ask her how she found out. I got a clue though. Laying in bed and I'm just kind of like numb and I'm scared. I'm nervous. Like, I don't know if she getting ready to come here with me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what to expect. So as far as my stepdad, now my mom told me he was kind of silent. He was quiet the whole time. Just in the beginning stages, when he found out and all that, did tell me that he cried and he really didn't speak too much. He didn't speak much about it. Pretty sure he was disappointed, but I'm glad that it happened the way that it did that day. And then I came home from school, and that evening she was, making dinner, talking and things like that. And of course, had to get my son's dad on the phone, and they was talking to him. Really I'm sure there was disappointment, absolutely. I was the last one in the house. I was preparing to go to college and, at my senior year, and then, got pregnant. They supported me, they encouraged me, and it was like, hey, we've been there, we gonna love you, we're gonna embrace you, we're gonna get you through this. That's what's gonna happen. My biological dad, I think he was in jail at the time. I think when I was further along in my pregnancy, he eventually found out. It was so heavy on me just because of how, I grew up, I was raised in church. Of course, at this time, like, I'm almost getting ready to graduate from high school and, getting ready to be an adult and all that. So it was just some guilt that, I was dealing with and, just worried about, what people will look at or say about my mom. And in high school, y'all, I wouldn't say that I had like close friends. I did have a close friend, but she actually transferred schools like when we was starting sophomore year. So, I had people that I hung out with, but not to the point to where I was gonna be telling people that I was pregnant. I basically let my pregnancy speak for itself in high school. Actually, I started to show, and then that's when people found out. Like the response from, like my classmates, my peers, when people seen that I was pregnant, everybody was just shocked. They was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, people were trying to figure out who it was. I'm a very reserved and private person. So, I didn't talk much about it, didn't give out no details. People asked, I'm like, look, that's my business, whatever. Like in my pregnancy, like I really didn't deal with like morning sickness, or I didn't deal with any of that. Where, I dealt with it maybe just a little bit, but it wasn't like severe. I was always hungry and tired. Got up every day, went to school. Again, this is senior year. So of course, senior year, this is the year. You need to be at school. So I graduated high school, 6 months pregnant. I did it, walked across that stage with my belly, my cap and gown, and my heels. Got my diploma, y'all, and kept it moving. Was ready to enter into the real world, enter to mommyhood. I had experience, I guess you could say, with kids, because of course I have siblings, ahead of me. So, they all had babies, and I babysitted plenty of times. When you babysitting somebody else's kids, you babysit and do what you do, and then you send them on. But this one was like, this was gonna be mine and mine only. And around like the middle of my senior year, I actually moved in with my son's dad. My mom didn't kick me out. She didn't do anything like that. It was just, it just made sense. I was over there all the time anyway. Being a young mom, financially, I really didn't have anything to worry about because, his father took care of all that. My mom, she didn't have to do anything. I've always had an old soul, you know, young with an old soul. So I've always been very mature, you know, when it comes to responsibility. My mindset was already prepared, you know, to be a mother, you know, not knowing what to expect, but, you know, just ready. I didn't have a baby shower or anything like that, which that was kind of disappointing. I don't even know what happened with all that, but I didn't have a baby shower. I didn't have a gender reveal, nothing like that. My doctor's appointments, you know, like I say, I had officially moved in with my son's dad, and we're just getting all the baby stuff, getting cribs, clothes, diapers. August comes around, and of course my due date, I think my due date was like August 29th or 28th, but I remember that day very clearly. I remember it was at night, I was laying down, I was hungry. So we live right next door to McDonald's, which was, y'all, that was bad. Listen, pregnancy cravings, I was at McDonald's a lot, okay? At night, you know, I wanted like some ice cream and some fries. So I went to McDonald's, got some ice cream and some fries. And then probably around 9 or 10 o'clock that night, you know, I'm laying down in the bed, I start contracting. Didn't know I was contracting, but I'm like, ooh, what's this? And so then eventually, probably around like 9:30, 9:45, it was like every 5 minutes, every 2 minutes, my phone out, and I was like timing, like, you know, how fast the contractions was coming and how they were happening. And so then eventually it was like back to back, and I was like, okay. It was painful. I had, hospital bag, I had all that stuff packed. But then probably around like 10:30, it was like game on, like he was coming. Contractions was like, they was off the charts, y'all. They was off the chart. Get up, get the hospital bag. We didn't live too far from the hospital. I had already did like my pre-admission paperwork. Like, I don't know who got time to be doing all that paperwork when you have a contraction. So I'm glad that I had chose at my 6-month appointment to go ahead and get all that done. Got me in a room, got changed. And I may have some pictures that I may insert. I would say my experience giving birth, it was like, this is my first pregnancy now, so I don't know what to expect. I have a high pain tolerance. So I get there, you know, they're taking my vitals, getting me all hooked up. You know, right now I'm kind of like in like a, I guess you could say like an admission room. Now, I think I was like 3 centimeters dilated. So like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get you in. Y'all, about time I got to the delivery room, I think I was about 4 centimeters. So things were kind of happening pretty fast. I did get the epidural. I will say my contractions were bad. I ain't gonna say they weren't. They were bad, but again, I have a high pain tolerance. I had a plan that when I was 6 meters dilated, I was going to get the epidural. That was my plan. Got the epidural. My experience with epidural was actually really good. So probably around, I would say maybe 2:30, 3 a.m. Doctor comes back in, checks me or whatever, and he's like, okay, you're fully dilated. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I was like super nervous because I'm like, I'm scared, like I'm not gonna feel anything, like, you know, what's gonna go on. So I know that eventually they did have to use like the suction to get him out or whatever. And I honestly, I would probably say I probably pushed maybe a good 5 times. Baby boy was out. He was out. He was healthy. He was 6 pounds 6 ounces. With a big head. The best day of my life, the best day. He was born August 22nd, 2009 at 4 a.m. He's a morning baby. And of course from there, motherhood started. I'm gonna be honest, like I really didn't have any challenges. I didn't go through postpartum depression. Like I didn't go through any of that. It just takes like a prepared mindset, and I just feel like that, you know, when I first found out that I was pregnant, it all shifted to, you know, it's no longer about me, it's about, you know, my child. So I just knew that I had to do what I had to do. It also helps as well when you are with the person that you're having the child with, and y'all both on the same page about the child, and, you know, take responsibility, doing what needs to be done. And I think that's probably, I ain't gonna say probably, I know that played like a bigger part in it. Really helped me just with my whole pregnancy journey, to where, you know, I wasn't struggling with anything. I wasn't living like a wild life or anything. I was very low key and, you know, just kept to myself to give y'all like the backstory of just my whole pregnancy and how it all started, how it all happened. Hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure if you watch it, make sure you subscribe. Don't leave without subscribing. In the next video, I will be announcing the giveaway. Like, share, comment, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.